always forget, Tim, when we do these things. You're like, "Hey, could you not please play the intro music?"
Yeah, I always get the copyright stuff. But yeah, the girls.
Sorry, I literally just forgot, and I figure you're sharing this. Sometimes you share it on yours. What is going on, All Terrain Nation? Whether it be 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, or all these badass vehicles we love to drive, this is your All Terrain Nation, and we got Mr. Pickup Truck himself, Mr. Tim with the D over there, and he's ready to talk some trucks and cars with us.
Yeah, all that good stuff. Yeah, no, I always get copyright information stuff from your channel. I'm like, damn it. And I always got to, go through and I click the edit button. And so luckily YouTube's got a self-edit button. I can just edit your crapola out of my video.
Well, see, I do those because it's like all of a sudden you start seeing people rolling in. It like gives them that they don't miss anything. That 10-second or whatever intro brings them in.
No. You just love making yourself look cool. You like the 80s montage all over again. You love the 80s montage stuff.
It's the MTV in me, right? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Then I'd be 16 and pregnant now. Well, anyways, I hope everybody's having a fantastic Monday. The show is now back on Mondays. Softball for me is nearly over as an umpire and the kids at the park and all that. So I'm able to come back to Monday nights. And besides Monday Night Football, you guys seem to prefer Mondays. So we're going to stick here. But Tim, how it's fall-ish here in Tennessee. We're still been in the 90s, but how is the grade up yonder up there? How's the weather and everything treating you, man?
It is finally cooling down up here, and I got a lot of people saying, "Wow, it's Tim, wow, it's Tim." Yes, it is. As the kids say, it's been a minute since I've done some live streams. There has been some radical changes happening over at the outlet, and
you got a haircut? You did your hair?
I actually did get a haircut this morning. I did.
No, it's much shorter.
Yeah, I did get
radical.
Yeah, I did get a haircut. I got new hats. I got more hats coming. I got shirts maybe coming as well. Anyways, merch.
Wow. I gotta get a new hat from you. I've worn my other one out, man. It's so sweaty and just I'm like,
well, I am heading your way, or we'll get together next week.
Yeah, that's true. We will see you. We'll see.
Yeah,
you in Texas.
I'm looking over my stash. I have one. I will bring another one with me because I'm heading your way next week. So thanks, Doug. Tim says a great YouTube channel. Thank you. I will be heading to Texas next week to the hot. I'm sure it's gonna be hot down there, but it is finally cooling down. We're finally getting some fall weather here as well. There's been a lot going on the outlet. Been a lot of changes and a lot of more changes coming, I think.
Oh, it's you're always changing.
Yeah, no, I haven't done live streams in a while. I just haven't. I haven't felt like it, honestly.
It's a different man. We know you're doing your TikToks now.
Yeah,
you're hanging out with the 18-year-old kids and you're TikToking and all that.
TikToky things. No, so I guess for those, I'm gonna steer your show here for a minute, Dave. Sorry.
Go right ahead, man.
I haven't done this for a while. So if you guys haven't caught up on the news, it's been weeks or a month now. Jill and I parted ways amicably. No problems there. Jill was a longtime co-host for the channel, and she helped me grow the business. And we parted ways, and it was good. She's doing her own thing now. She has her own YouTube channel. She has for a long period of time. And I had just took the channel to more. I want to do more truck stuff. I want to do a little more focus on different things, and I wanted to bring in new voices, and I've done that. There's been a lot of new freelancers coming in. I've created more jobs within the outlet. I've spent the money elsewhere that I was paying Jill, which is what I wanted to do. Jill was a great person for me to get channel going. Created a lot of the back end I needed structure to get things going, and so that was fantastic. And I just I needed her help for many years, and then I started doing a lot more TikToks. I don't know, probably in June I started seeing some value over there. And with YouTube Shorts and Instagram Shorts and Facebook and things. A lot of it from my friend Charity John. I'm seeing his success over there and talking with him on different things, and seeing Jill had some success over there as well. And I felt like there was an area I could grow into, so I started doing more of that. And I also noticed that there was a lot more coverage over there I could provide that wasn't being met. There's an audience over there that wasn't getting the coverage that they.
Well, you've done this for 9 years on YouTube, so
yeah,
not that you get burnt out, but you're just looking for something to make it exciting again.
Yeah, and the industry right now has changed. We have slowing sales. We have interest rates still being high. We have inventory problems. We have just a lot of issues right now in the industry, and not a lot of excitement. We have capital expenditures being pushed back. Ford F-50 got pushed back this year. I truly believe the Toyota Tundra refresh got pushed back.
Well, yeah, we haven't seen many launches at all.
No,
Normally we start seeing more launches getting ready for 26. I've yet to see really any invitations for any
yeah,
truck stuff for me.
no.
Like, yeah, they're pulled back a lot.
Right, and so I just felt like it was time to grow, and so I was able to bring some new writers in, and I just feel like there's a lot of stuff going on. So I feel like there was a lot that could be going on with growth over there. So I think you're going to see a lot more stuff going on. Oh, you got gifted 10 All Train memberships.
That's right, buddy.
Wow,
Thank
look at
you,
that.
Steve P from Arizona.
Yeah, so I just felt like it was time for a change. As I tell people, it was, how there's like comedy duos and bands, your favorite rock bands. After a while, they
Martin
break
and
up.
Lewis. You're Martin and Lewis. You broke up.
Yeah, I mean, after a while, you need a break, or you
Yeah.
take time, you do your own solo record or something.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was time to do a solo record. Is the way to say
Well,
that.
what's funny is, we'll see Jill at all
Yeah,
these same
yeah.
events, and
I'll give her a
and
big hug, and yeah,
yeah.
and we'll move on. So that's kind of where things had kind of gone from there. And so I hadn't done live streams. It wasn't that I was afraid to do live streams, anything going on, nothing behind the scenes. It's just I didn't anticipate how much time it was going to take for me to get freelancers on board,
Mhm.
and how much I needed to create the infrastructure to bring them on board, and how much. Look, I've been doing this job 15 years. Pickup Truck Talk's been in place 9 years. And so it's like I know how to create a story really fast. I can do my job pretty quickly. And so it's
Because you
like
talk really quickly.
I do. And so I had to create the infrastructure to get these people on board, and I didn't realize how much time that would take. And so it's taken a lot of time away from doing videos to create the background. There's a lot of channels out there that it's a one person show, or it's a crew, and it's only you see that crew all the time only. And I don't like that, Dave. I believe in different voices and things. Whether you may agree with that other person or not, whether you may not like the other voice or not,
Well, there's some auto channels out there that all seem to be, even though they have multiple hosts, they all seem to be the same voice. Yeah, no, it's good. Like, that's the idea behind our website. Is I want to bring in writers that aren't my voice. Well, clearly, hopefully grammar wise, they're a lot better.
Right.
But yeah, like you, I want to create. This is not just for me. This is either my daughter wants to jump in. Kelly from time to time likes to jump in. Like, I want not just family voices like you. I want other voices out there, because clearly America has one side or the other right now. So everybody needs a voice, and they want. This is cars. We're not political. These are cars, and just But some people like vets. Some people like to wear jean shorts and New Balance, and some people like to get their coveralls on and go look at side by sides. So there's got to be something for everybody.
I can rock a good pair of camo jorts all day long.
Well, Tim's the guy that makes fun of me every time always in January, I do a side by side video, and Tennessee only gets really cold in January and early February.
It does not. It doesn't get that damn cold. You do not need insulated coveralls.
Well, you do. Trust me. You would adapt down here pretty quickly, and suddenly you'd be in them too. But yeah, Tim's always like, yeah, got them coveralls on. What for?
Yeah, so I mean, that's what I'm looking for. And the thing is, like, I've known a lot of people that don't wear jorts. I have a lot of friends in the industry, as you imagine, after all these years, and there's a lot of really good, talented writers right now that need some work, and I'm excited.
All the paper outlets are gone.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like Kelly Blue Book laid off all their staff, had to make them rehire. Yeah. There's a lot of outlets out there that have laid off people because they haven't found the formula. And I've been very fortunate to always, not always, but I will say always. I've always been open to trying new things and to really give it a go.
Yeah, you let me on your show a long time ago. I remember a Nissan. You were like, "Hey, man, I know you're with the Nissan stuff. Can you do like you'd had a question, and I had to record the the comment back, and I remember like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, and why does this guy want me to give an answer to anything? I don't know, but yeah, you've always been open to new people and doing a lot of fun stuff.
My wife and I were talking about this the other night, and it's like, it's funny to me how many people in life will say, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't imagine doing this, I can't imagine doing that, and then they immediately shut down the door to what they're doing. They immediately shut the door to stuff. And instead of saying, well, maybe I can try doing that. Maybe we can try doing this. And maybe if you just try it, maybe you never know. Like I never knew this is the career I'd be in. I never knew I could do a YouTube channel. I never knew I could do this stuff. Mm-hmm. But I'm always a person that more often not say yes to things, for better or worse, than I am to say no. Oh, I just can't do that, because I believe in myself. I believe that there are a lot of things I can do. I know there's things I can't do. Don't ask me to build you a shed that I look at that's half finished, because I am not that guy. I'm going to turn 48 in about 15 days, and I've learned many things about myself. I've learned that there's things that I can do a lot of things. I can't do a lot of things well, but I can do a lot of things. and I can do some construction, but I can't do a lot of construction well. And there's certain things in your life that you should just pay for.
And that's perfect, because our garage door came off the track, or the deal, the little cord, the cable that pulls it up on each side.
The emergency cable
sideways. And my dad, and the way I grew up was we didn't have money you were going to do it yourself. You're going to figure it out.
Yes.
And not that I'm very lower class, middle class right now, but my dad got so pissed off because I hired somebody to come fix the garage door. He's like, well, we could have done that yourself. And even the garage door guy was like, that big spring you see in the middle? He goes, if those break, it's going to kill you. Like, he's like, you don't want to mess with this stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, for the $150 it cost me to fix that, 100%. I didn't know what I was doing. Let the pros handle it. And that's why you're on the show. We let the pros like you come in and teach us.
And to clarify in the comments, there will be no cartwheels attempted, even with enough bourbon to be attempting that.
Are you drinking bourbon tonight?
I have some Crown.
Okay, well, that's Canadian,
Yes. Well, that was my issue with the tariffs. Honestly, I was concerned about my whiskey prices.
Well, did you say? I know this is not Bourbon Nation, my other channel that you guys should subscribe to, by the way. But it was funny. Was Crown, I guess, is moving some operations to the U.S. because of that. They're like, we'll just come down here.
No, I've been open about this in our forum. I have had some health issues, and so at night I need a little something to knock off the pain. And I'm hoping that I ordered something. I ordered some lifts for my shoes because my left leg is an inch shorter. So I'm hoping that will take care of some of my health issues.
His left leg, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, my left. I literally go into the chiropractor to get my left leg pulled. It's like, isn't there some sort of joke about getting a leg pulled? It's like it's this ongoing thing.
Yeah, there is that. Don't pull my leg.
There's a joke. Yeah. So I see my prescription pain meds right in front of me. By the way, I need to take one of those pretty soon. But
you got your alcohol too. Let's get Tim really wound up tonight.
I'm concerned about that. Usually I take that stuff together, and it's time for Tim to sit in his chair. So I'm going to hold off for a little bit.
I want to bring this. I'm going to bring up a story from you. Like, we're not prepared by any means on what me and Tim talk about.
It's 15 minutes into this. Maybe we should talk about something else besides.
I know. Besides Tim's long leg. Let's see here. So
not the one in the middle.
This story popped up from you.
Oh, yes.
The Ram, and I was going to do something on it, and I just got.
You should. Can I ask you to do something? You should turn your ad blocker on.
No,
I know.
Because stupid YouTube would kill me right now.
I know. Oh yeah,
I know. It's super.
Can you go back to the title for a minute? So Ram PR called me, and he was laughing. He goes, man. He goes, first of all, I knew you'd be the first one to run this story. We're sitting in the meetings, and I'm like, he goes, yep, Tim's going to cover the story first. It'll be 8 a.m. and cover it. He goes, you're about an hour and a half late. I said, well, I think the kid's school. He goes, okay. And secondly, he goes, you and your damn titles, dead in all caps. You had to do it that way, didn't you? I said, I had to get the clicks, bro. Get clicks. He goes, I laughed. He goes, yep. He goes, but you nailed it. He goes, you got the story completely right.
Right. So if you're trying to figure out what we're talking about, the Ram Revolution. There was a big deal 2 years ago at Chicago, I think, is when they showed it. and I put a pre-order on one. I think Tim did as well. Which is in this business, if you're not first, you're last, basically. So you try to get in there when you can. And we finally saw the truck. Looks like this supposedly. And I told Kelly, it's been about 4 months ago. I said, where are the damn updates? I almost forgot I put a reservation on one. I said, and Ram, I don't know if you remember, in their email was like, we're going to give all these updates all the time. This is part of what you're paying for and all this. And I said, I haven't got the first damn email about anything. And then when you dropped this story, I was like, well, that's about par for the course that they killed it. And then on your personal Facebook page, I think you shared this, and I was like, I wonder if I'm going to get my money back, because I've looked and I've seen no way of doing that.
Checks in the mail. So they killed the electric version, and then they renamed the Ram Charger the Ram Rev. So can I tell you a little behind the scenes story that I did not include in the story?
Yeah.
So do you remember when they revealed this? They called the Ram Revolution. They shortened the Ram Rev, which is probably a better name. The person who revealed this truck at Chicago, his name was Mike Koval. He was the then head of Ram Trucks. So, yep, on Tuesday, there was an announcement that he left the company.
Really?
Yes. So I find it, as a conspiracy theory kind of guy, that I'm not a big conspiracy theory kind of guy. I'm not a huge guy in this, but I do happen to, I don't know, I love this kind of fighting kind of stuff behind the scenes.
Right.
So Koval is no longer with Stellantis at all.
Huh.
At all. He got kind of demoted, sent over to Mopar, was doing like Jeep Mopar kind of parts things.
Yeah.
And then they renamed the Ram thing. And he, at the same week that was announced, he said later, and he's gone.
Well,
so
they don't like to be. You're in a position of power. You don't want to sort of be humiliated and like put down a peg. So I can see why.
I'm still like, I'm friends with him on LinkedIn and different places, and I'm just kind of sitting back, because my ultimate goal is to get a microphone in front of that dude and be like, "What's up?"
Yeah. You know what? He wants that next job, so I don't know how willing he's going to be to open up too much.
No, I'm just waiting for him to get the next job. Then I'm gonna be like, "Let's trash talk your former employer. Here's a beer. Here's some whiskey. Let's go."
Yeah. So we have, and me and you haven't got to talk in a while about this. Obviously, EV is dead. Now Teslas and I know Cadillacs and stuff, there's a market for that. There's an upper end market for that. But as a whole, EV's dead. And I remember
I got a story I'm working on right now. It's supposed to go live. If I want to talk with you, we have a story going on. I have a really in-depth story on whether EV market will survive.
Which, I have to, and once again, this is not political, but I do feel like we were being maybe a little too early, pushed too early into some of this stuff. I think we're still a good 20 years before it makes sense for a lot of people. But, Ram really went in hard. Like, they were behind. I remember there's stories out. They were trying to gobble up Nissan because Nissan had a lot of EV tech. Ram and the brand Stellantis as a whole, Fiat, whatever they were before this, they didn't have a background in this at all. They didn't play in that.
Mm-hmm.
You thought of them as Hemis. You didn't think of them as EVs. And I feel sorry for the company because they had to shove so much money into this. Like, to catch up, they had to shove a lot of money into this. Clearly the Charger, Challenger, I never know which one they call that, is been a huge flop for them. Now you look on the Jeep side, where's the Recon?
Well, the funny part with the car is that the best story of that one was the guy that got the ticket for his Ram EV was too loud. Yes.
Yeah. That had to get thrown out at some point. But as the company, man,
if you don't know that story, there's a guy who bought one of the Ram, the Dodge Charger EVs, and he Daytona, I think they called Daytona, and he got a ticket from a police officer because his EV car was too loud. The exhaust was too loud on it.
Yeah,
that was a good story. But
the kid is funny. He's like, so you're gonna write me a ticket for an exhaust this doesn't have, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah. So, John Burnett promotes that Scout, and you're a huge Scout fan.
Oh, I'm a big Scout fan.
But the Ram Charger, the Ram Rev now that used to be the Ram Charger, used to be known as. It's like the it's a weird truck. I shouldn't say transgender because that's a whole like lightning word these days. But anyways, but here's the thing with Stellantis, and I'm going to play the journalist card with you guys because that's how I do things. Look, Stellantis is a global brand.
Mm-hmm.
We get so caught up in America. We can't get caught up in America because globally, they got to compete in China. China is the world's largest automotive market. U.S. is number 2.
For now.
Come on.
No, so here's my thing with that. China's played catch up really quickly. They didn't have an interstate system until 20 years ago. Like literally, right. And then the like CNBC or somebody did a story on it where it shows like this guy in his donkey cart going across the interstate because they didn't understand this at all. Like what they allowed all these American companies to come in there and steal everything they knew how to manufacture anything. And like fools, these American companies wanted a taste of that. It was like a heroin hit for them, man. It was like, oh, this is a good profit. Oh boy. And China right now, yes, large. They're all their BYD and all that stuff.
They're popping out babies like they're, cocaine or something.
Yeah, but it's all government subsidized. And
Dude,
and who knows
we got alcohol, drugs, and trucks, man. What else you need in the show?
Cheers, sir. But with China, you don't know what to believe anymore as far as even sales numbers. They lie about all this stuff. Are they truly? I know they are pushing hard though to be in Europe.
Well, they are. Well, so
you're ruining the market. Yes, in Europe.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. That's the problem Stellantis faces. Stellantis faces a twofold problem. The U.S. they're short on cash, so they bring back the Hemi to get some sales back, right? Mm-hmm. Which is interesting because I don't know about the Hemi coming back, and I say that because I did a short video because I'm doing shorts about
jean shorts.
Jorts, camel jorts.
That's what you should call your things, jorts.
It would make a hell of a lot more sense to me. But like when you go down to it and you get down to the brass tacks about the stuff, the Hurricane versus Hemi, the Hurricane wipes the map with the Hemi in all categories except for exhaust note.
Yeah. And
I did a short on that. I said, look, guys, it comes down to this. It comes down to
you have one.
Yeah, I've driven Hemi for years, and I've driven the Hemi. I've driven 5.7 V8s for years, and I've driven the Hurricane. The Hurricane, you want to talk about Ford enthusiast says Stellantis has quality issues. Hurricane does not have quality issues like the Hemi did. It doesn't. People want to make Hurricane have all these problems. It does not have the same problems. So it's a better engine, fuel efficient, more powerful, less quality issues. It's great. Okay, so what's the argument there? They were bringing it back to get some more cash because they want to make more cash. But they spent millions to bring the damn thing back.
Yeah.
I don't understand that one.
But you also know, they've unfortunately tied themselves to horsepower. That was the one thing that, for whatever reason, from Daimler on, whoever's owned them, they knew, okay, Americans love big engines, horsepower, and they really didn't treat the company like they didn't seem to have a plan.
They've had bad management. They've had bad. Carlos Tavares is a terrible CEO.
Oh yeah, well he's thank God gone.
Well, they keep putting Europeans in charge. They put Europeans in charge of Stellantis, and Europeans are the least, the smallest market.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Stellantis, and America is your second largest market, to me, either put a Chinese dude in charge or you put an American dude in charge. 1-2 market. Why put European in charge?
They don't want it. This sounds awful, but they do not want any Chinese management in any of these companies.
Then put a damn American in charge.
Well, which they seem to have done because I never remember his Tim, whatever his name is.
Tim Kuniskis is only the Ram guy, but he's not the head guy.
No, but what I'm saying is they quickly went, we need to get our face of the company back, which,
right.
Like you said earlier, they put the one out to pasture. Well, they put him out to pasture. Let's be honest. They demoted him a little bit, and he retired, or whatever. And
Tim was bored as shit too.
No, 100. Those guys, those alpha guys like that. Yes, they.
He doesn't. The only thing Tim does in retirement with a golf ball is shoot it.
But
he doesn't play.
Tim, they fed off of this easy sales. When in doubt, throw a Hemi in it. Look at the cars. Like, they come up with a damn elephant. There's no reason for a nearly
Yeah,
1,000
yeah.
horsepower, whatever it was, but it was like, oh,
Well, that's what it is. So to the Ford enthusiast's point, Stellantis has had a long-term problem with quality issues. They have, and so they bring out this Elephant. They bring out these big muscle cars
Mhm.
to kind of drown out the noise of the quality issues. So they fixed the quality issues with the transmission because they went with ZF. They said, "Hey guys, we can't build a transmission. Go somebody else. Take care of that problem." And then they
It took
bring
like
out
30 years for them to figure the transmission
yeah,
issues out.
they're like, well, it turns out we just can't build one. Screw it. We'll go with somebody else.
Hey,
Which is
Nissan.
a good idea,
Listen.
right? And the Hurricane is probably the best transmission they've ever had. So, or best engine they've ever had. So that's great. And so they're on the right path, right? They're on a good path. Design is great. They're on a good path. The 4xe does not live up to what they thought it was going to be as far as
To me, it's a bad driving experience for that platform. If it was in an SUV, a more family oriented, I would dig it. But for that vehicle, the Wrangler, it's a bad platform.
I told them it was loud, and they got really pissed at me about that. I'm like, well, it's still a Wrangler.
Yeah.
Wranglers by definition are loud. Like the Bronco is the same type of vehicle, but it's much quieter. Like if I was Jeep, I'd be turning apart the Bronco trying to figure out the secrets.
Oh, that's a question I've got coming for you then. We're going to battle that here in a little bit, but but with Hemi, I mean, it's brand recognition. They know they know the company knows really quickly they effed up with saying these stupid, and they signed that stupid agreement in California that forces them still to do EV.
Yeah.
But the truck, it makes sense they were in development of it. They've spent probably a couple $1 billion on that, but they'll eat that. The Recon's the one that kind of worries me because that's at the finish line. And I really don't see a world where it comes out.
I don't either.
Like they don't want to lose. I know you've spent once again a couple $1 billion on development of that. Had the Super Bowl ad where it was in the Super Bowl ad and all that.
Yeah.
But at no point there's no excitement for it. I do videos on it that do pretty well of like, hey, where's it this week? But I think it's just that train wreck interest in those videos of like, you see a car wreck or whatever, everybody slows down to look at what's going on, then they go about their business. And I don't see a world where that thing comes out. So now they're killing we'll in a future world, we'll say they're kill that. The Wrangler's due for a refresh as far as Jeep. Gladiator, who knows what's going on with that. Truck truck sales have kept the company alive, but they quickly went, EV, that's butchering truck sales because they were down 20% or something from the first of the year. It was a pretty radical loss in sales.
Well, because they closed the factory down for a while.
Yeah, but they were they were almost number 2 for a while in truck sales.
Yeah, I mean, so everybody makes a big deal about that, and it was exciting. It really was. It was exciting. They bested the Chevy Silverado.
Mm-hmm.
It was exciting for a hot minute. So you go back in time, 2019. They hold on, I got a kid yelling at me. They bested the Silverado in sales, and they came out the truck first to market. So they launched that. And you come on in, buddy. I'm doing a live stream. Come on in. They bested the Silverado, and they came to first to market, and they cut pants down. Yes, what's up?
You know how to wash this?
What are you washing? You go out with a hose and some Dawn dish soap. Put some Dawn dish soap on it, hose it off. All right, good. Close the door. Thanks, buddy.
This has been sponsored by Dawn Dish Soap. If you think of washing things, you think
No,
of
get out,
Dawn
Shadow,
Dish
get
Soap.
out. I got my dog too. Yeah, single parenting bag. So, no, so it's like they came to market first, cut people's pants down. They had a greater truck. Chevrolet thought they were going to win Truck of the Year, and it was a flop. The Silverado did not have a good truck. Ram had a great truck. Turns out people like big screens. Yeah. I know people on this channel and in my TikToks and everything hate big screens, but the buying audience likes big screens.
Well, like I would say Ram did it right. Like their the vertical screen, their portrait version. I like it a lot because that was one of the beefs I've had with some other brands where they keep shoving them up in the windows. Yeah, I don't want that.
People really like Ram trucks. They really like the styling of them. They really like they liked everything. They fixed the transmission issues. They went out of the different suppliers, and they caught GM with their pants down, and GM got pissed off. The thing you have to remember is that half of GM's business, half of Ford's business is fleet customers, and they have more plants than Ram's got.
Oh, sure.
So it's not about who. So it's not about who's got the better truck right now as far as sales volume. It's about who can build more trucks.
Yeah.
Ram doesn't have a chance. They don't have plants.
Well, they have some idle ones they could convert if they really, really wanted to.
Well, that's why they added more plants in Mexico. They added more facilities with near Slaus. They're trying to add more capacity, because if Ram had more capacity, they would compete better with GM and Ford in the sales numbers. Because they, from a consumer standpoint, I think they got a better truck on a consumer standpoint than Ford and GM have at this moment.
So
But
I
they just don't have
I
the
had
capacity.
a 22 Ram Rebel for about 6 months, and I have to admit it was probably the best, even though it was a couple years old. Nothing much has changed really about it. It by far is one of the most comfortable vehicles I've ever been in. Everything about it, I was impressed with it. And I'm not a Ford guy per se, but I tend to lean Ford right now. Chevrolet, for some reason, their interiors have sort of lost me. There's something about them I don't like right now. But the Ram just felt complete. It really did. I had not the biggest screen like what you have in yours, but it was very comfortable. The only one thing I didn't like was the stupid dial shifter.
Yeah.
Within a couple days, I was done. Like, it didn't bother me anymore. The back seat room was amazing in that truck. The V8 they were putting in it was pretty nice too. I really think I think that particular company, yes, I think the Hurricane is great. Last year I think we drove together in one at Texas. I did their when they first put it in the Grand Wagoneer. It was kind of fun to get into that truck because you would let off the gas and you get some of those kind of tuner pops, which are kind of like kind of fun. That generation now is buying trucks, so I can see some appeal to that. But no, it's a great truck. But the Hurricane engine's been pretty good. Fuel economy is pretty poor. That'll come.
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. There's a guy in the forum getting 25 miles per gallon out of his Ram 1500. I'm getting 16 on my RHO, and that's double what the TRX got. I'm seeing reports now the guys are getting much better fuel economy than 1500 Hurricane versus a Hemi.
Well, you know what? Though there's a TRX coming.
There is.
You know they're going to do some 800 horsepower stupid.
Sure. And they should. And they absolutely should. And they absolutely should do the same thing Ford did. They should offer that TRX for $30,000 more.
Yeah.
Like the Raptor did. So the Raptor to Raptor R is $30,000 more, and you can buy it. And there's guys that'll buy that, and they'll drag race it. I know. I walked in the store the other day, and the guy was in Menards. The guy had a TRX. He had a Jeep Gladiator. He had a Dodge Demon. He had this, that, and the other. And I said, "Have you jumped your TRX?" He goes, "Oh God, no. I just drive it around." He goes, "I want to go off road and take my Gladiator."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "That's that guy." And I know guys who own Raptor R's, $105,000 trucks, and they just drive them around town because they think they're just cool.
Well, they're not cool as you getting to jump them, you know.
Yeah, but that's fine because that's fine. That's great, and that's what brands. If I'm Ford, if I'm Ram. Hey, you want to? I'll put $30,000 on there. You're going to buy it? Great. Hell yeah, I'll take your money.
Yeah. Well, so they're definitely, and I think that's where V8s are. I think that's sort of like the Wrangler, the 392 and stuff. They've definitely learned, F it. People will pay for it. Why not?
And the 392 is Wrangler, in my opinion. And I have friends that the Americans Most Wanted. They're a outfitter in Holly, Michigan, and I'll give them a shout out. They build these badass trucks, and they're really cool. And the Helifont Jeep Wranglers, and I need to stop by one of these days. I'm in Michigan a few different times. I need to stop by. And I used to work in Holly, so I know exactly where they're at. And they build these badass things. To me, they're almost undrivable because they have so much horsepower with these little short wheelbases. And they build them, and they're fun, and people buy them, and they're great. And do
you think that's because the modern car is not fun to drive anymore? They're too good.
Yeah,
people want a little danger in their life.
Yeah, and that's fantastic, and so people love that stuff, and that's great. And so, and brands will ask that number, and they'll get that number all day long, and people will. It's funny because you'll see the comments online. People will bitch about that vehicle online in the comments, and they'll bitch about it, and meanwhile, the dealer can't keep them in stock.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I know America's Most Wanted is doing that I like is they bob the stupid Gladiator. They take that stupid long bed off of it,
Yeah.
and cut it down some.
Yeah.
With speaking of that, with Gladiator, they did at Easter Jeep Safari, they did that kind of throwback looking Gladiator. Do you think that Gladiator sales are kind of tanking? And I don't think I think part of the problem is there was that initial buy-in, COVID and all that. Everybody, you could get Gladiators where you couldn't get Wranglers. I liked my Gladiator. The only thing I do wish is what that Easter Jeep Safari one did. It just looked different than the Wrangler. And I wish the Gladiator would just, I know there needs to be some commonality to make them affordable, but do you think there's a Gen 2 coming maybe where eventually they make it look like the old 60s versions?
No.
No.
I think Gladiator was always going to be a one generation vehicle.
Yeah.
I think the Dakota coming out, it's not going to be called Dakota, but the Ram midsize is going to completely destroy the last remaining Gladiator sales.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that. And I think that's probably why Ford was just like, we're good with just a Bronco. We don't need the Bronco truck.
Yeah, there's just not enough buyers in the midsize segment. In the midsize segment, it's one of the fastest growing segments in the country, and as far as that goes, but there's just not enough there. There's not enough room there for that many more competitors.
Well, and they were getting outrageously priced. You want a Rubicon Gladiator, yours almost $70,000.
Yeah, the Gladiator was always kind of meant to be one generation, and they'll redo the Wrangler, and maybe they'll update the Gladiator to keep it around.
Yeah,
but I just don't see it. I don't see it'll never be its own model. It'll just be kind of falling in love with the Wrangler stuff.
So basically what you're saying is America's, or I forget what the AEV and all them will start making the Gladiator truck or the little trucks
Yeah,
again.
because that's what he did. And everybody that wanted the Gladiator at this point probably got one. But when Ram has a midsize truck come out, which they promised UAW, they Anthony Fazio, I think his name is, the CEO of Stellantis, he just got quoted yesterday. I just saw the news story. He saw a full clay mock-up of the new Ram midsize truck, and he says the specs are very impressive. Well, of course he's going to say that. Hello.
Wouldn't it be refreshing though to go, oh, we effed that up?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. Oh yeah, my jaw hit the floor like, oh, this is probably no. So yeah, I mean, he said it was great. So obviously he's gonna say it's fantastic. So they have a clay mock-up of this truck. So Stellantis' problem for many years was they're competing themselves in the same dealership lot. A Chrysler Town and Country, a Dodge Caravan, right? A Dodge Dakota, a Ram, a Jeep Gladiator. It doesn't make sense. You can't compete with yourself on the dealership lot. And so they got to have, you can't have competing yourself.
I think Ford's learning that with the Ranger. And there's a comment I'm going to get to here in the chat in just a second. But I think Ford, like Ranger sales are not really, it's a good truck. You own one. Your wife has one. I really think it's a good truck. But for whatever reason, like Toyota is with full size to midsize, like Toyota dominates midsize, but full size, they're getting better, but they're not doing what the big guys are doing. Ford struggles with like full size. They own that segment. Midsize, I don't know if it's because they killed it for so long or what. They can't make that truck move. But there's a comment that says, where'd it go? Ranger Raptor is the best Raptor. I'm going to disagree with you on that. And I'm more of an authority because I've owned pretty much all the Raptors now.
Yeah.
I can assure you, I love the Ranger Raptor, but at the end of the day, when you're driving that vehicle, it just turns into a truck. It really does. Unfortunately, Ford missed the mark on that. They should have came with 35s. They should have done something extreme with it. And maybe down the road, they do a Raptor R version of that. And I could see them putting like a 3.5 in it or something, because the next Raptor, whenever Ford does the next F-150, there'll be a Raptor to go with it. What is it? Is it 450? I think the horsepower is in that V6. That's not good enough anymore. Not with your RHO where it is. And RHO is going to be neck and neck with the Raptor. And then they're going to do the extreme versions with the Raptor R and the TRX. But I can see them maybe doing something like that, put that 3.5 in it. But I was told at a Ford event by people in the know that the 3-liter, which is they're putting in all the Raptor stuff, is coming to the main vehicles, like that the 2.7's going away. 3-liter. They're going to move the 3-liter into that situation. Now, will it be the whole twin turbo 400 horsepower? No, it'll probably be 330 to 350. But yeah, I was told by somebody in the know on that one. I was like, really? But I think that's because, like, we'll get into Wrangler and Bronco here. I think that's because there's going to be a 2.3 hybrid coming for Ford that will compete with the 4xe Wrangler. And, 4xe Wrangler to me struggles because I love Wranglers, but they just drive like shit. They really do. I mean, and you accept that when you buy one. And I think that's where Bronco is definitely stealing sales from them now because they just drive so damn good. Now, maybe if I'm going to the Rubicon, no, I probably would prefer the Wrangler. But, Ford has to compete. They wanted to compete in that segment. Now they're going to have to compete with 4xe because California, all this stuff. Where's your thoughts on the next Wrangler Bronco battle?
I think it's truly a battle. I always find it fascinating. People are like, why is Wrangler sales, doing poorly? I'm like, they have a first competitor in like 20 years.
Well, it's at the end of its life cycle too.
Yeah, I mean, but like you said, if you said, hey, I want to go buy an off-road SUV, and you go to the dealership lot and you drive a Wrangler versus a Bronco back to back, I can't imagine you drive home with a Wrangler.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. The Bronco's a real winner. And they really, it's funny because when you watch presentation for the Bronco reveal, they like went through the shit list in the Wrangler. Like, oh, you want mirrors in the doors when you take the doors off?
Yeah.
Check. You want to be able to listen to radio while you're driving on the road without having a bunch of wind noise? Check.
Well, let's pause the radio because the radio initially was pretty bad.
Right. But you want to
do your Bluetooth and stuff.
You want a comfortable cabin while you're driving the doors off? Check. Yeah. You want a powerful engine? Check. You want to drive without rolling around the road like you're on like soap or something? Check. Like they literally went through the entire list of what Wrangler. I think Ford engineers went on like Jeep forums, like wrote down every item Jeep Wrangler complained about, and they basically built a vehicle that did all the things that Jeep Wrangler didn't do well. I mean,
so Jeep with the Wrangler, they've had that audience for really since the early 90s. When everybody in the early 90s, there was the Samurais, the rodeos, and all that. There was some competition back then, but they've owned that segment since. So they've never been forced to update. They do it at their own rate. Everybody wanted a V8 in one of those things, and they were converting them. And I remember the CEO of Jeep going, "Nope, we're not doing that." And then once the Bronco hit, they're like, "Hey, V8."
Yeah. All of a sudden it was like, oh crap, we got to do that. So I think that's going to be a battle moving forward. But as Elliot points out, that the Ford hybrid powertrains with the 10-speed, they haven't been very good. The power boost, I'm getting reports from owners that it's not very good. And the 10-speed overall, 10-speed overall for Ford has not been very good. And so,
well, that how so though? Because it's basically the same 10-speed GM's used. They co-developed it.
Yes,
I know now programming and stuff since
yes
then.
And no. So like my wife's Ford Ranger has harsh shifting. So from when she goes to a stop sign, it shifts harshly from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Really? Because they adapt to driving styles.
Right. And actually I bought the device to turn it off, but you have to use a Windows computer, which we actually don't own a Windows computer anymore, a Windows laptop. And you have to go into software, turn it off. You have to turn off the learning transmission. Mm-hmm. So it hasn't been very good. I've heard from lots of people the 10-speed and Ford has not been very good. And the hybrid setup from Ford is not very good. Actually, the overall powertrain from Ford these days with the hybrid setup is not very good. So I think Ford's got some work to do.
Who makes the best hybrid powertrain then?
Toyota.
Yeah.
The RAV4 Prime. The prime to prime stuff. The Grand Highlander is fantastic as far as powertrain goes.
Oh no, Grand Highlander is a great vehicle.
Yeah, Elliot points out. Yeah, it skips gears and go in order. Yeah, it's. I've heard that from many customers. It's not.
I've never in the 2 Broncos I've had 10-speed transmission. I've never had an issue with it.
I didn't have a problem with my power boost when I had it in 21.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you what, my phone's blown up on people calling me, asking questions. I've heard it in my comments. I've heard it on different platforms, and my wife's Rangers had a problem with it.
Yeah.
So it's been the 10-speed from. I will say this right now. I think Ford has had some transmission issues. I don't know that they've had engine issues. I would say transmission issues is a problem. Throttle controller. I've had some throttle. People have said throttle controller aftermarket issue. It fixes it. Turn off the learning transmission. Fixes it. I just say overall, from a customer standpoint, who doesn't know that stuff, they've had some issues. GM has some issues right now with their 10-speed.
Do you not think though? So
Belt
most
body
of
issues.
America. Do you not think though most of America is used to a 5-speed transmission since the 80s till now? Really, they were like, well, you might get a 6-speed
I would
drive.
say 6 or 8, not a 5, 6 or 8 speed.
Well, but do you think it's a weird learning curve that, and I know that transmission's been out for about 10 years now, but do you think it's still like a weird learning curve of people not understanding? That's a lot. I mean, that is a lot of gears. Now, I will say in my Bronco Raptor, when I put the Ford Performance Tune on it, changed that transmission like crazy. Like it's smooth. It did definitely smooth it out a little bit. You can roll through it a little bit easier, but I really feel like maybe there's a learning curve with that people are just, I mean, it had to be the same way. We didn't have the internet, obviously, when we went through a 3-speed automatic transmission in the 60s to a 5-speed in the 80s. Like, I bet people back then still were like, whoa, this is just too harsh. It just doesn't do what I want.
No, I've driven with her, and somebody suggested disconnect negative transmission battery terminal. I've done that. I've let it sit. I've let it reset itself. I've driven her Ranger, and I've driven other 10 speeds. I've driven my driven GM 10 speeds. Driven my Power Boost. Her Ranger does something unique.
And you have the 2.3 in that too, right?
I have 2.3. Yep.
How's fuel economy been?
It's okay. We did a video on it. It was like 20 maybe.
Okay.
It was okay.
You know, the best vehicle midsize I found is the Nissan Frontier for fuel economy.
It is weird, isn't it? With the 3.8 natural aspirated.
Yeah.
So GM's having issue right now with the valve body. They have a new Gen 3 valve body with a rear wheel lockup. What's interesting with the valve body lockup is it impacts the half tons different than the heavy duties. I did not know that. My friend for the drive, I can see his face, wrote a story, followed up my story about that. Heavy duty customers sitting around on their hands because they can't drive their trucks. The rear wheels lock up on them. So the 10-speed on both GM and Ford's has been an issue. The 8-speed for was it 6-speed or I think it was 6-speed or 8-speed of GM was a nightmare. So people come to me all the time like, hey, what's the best truck to buy for engine reliability? I'm like, stop with engine reliability.
Yeah, any of them
right now. Transmissions are really the big issue. Transmission issues are rife. That's what I'm seeing a lot. Is transmission issues are a big issue.
I can see. I mean, very computer controlled anymore. It's just not. It doesn't just naturally do what it wants. You got a computer forcing it to do what it wants it to do. All based on fuel economy too. Like cafe regs. We got to make this thing. Like kind of like the Volkswagen BS they went through.
Yeah.
Really, the manufacturers are being hamstrung of like, hey, you have to get fuel economy. They're trying to crack that code of like, we'll make it do whatever you want us to do. Government, just.
And to be clear, my wife's Ranger is drivable. It's just annoying. It's just an annoying thing, and it's interesting. Somebody pointed out the cafe regs taking a back seat. Do you think automakers will come out with these new engines and stuff? No, because the cafe regs going in the back seat. Whether not to be political, but automakers plan things out 8, 10, 12-year increments, and they plan out things globally. Whoever the president is today, or U.S. presidents today, or U.S. presidents in 2 years, or 5 years, or 8 years, whatever, it doesn't matter. Automakers, they're gonna make plans for.
The only thing that I will say about that is the Hemi with the current administration, the Hemi coming back is a direct like, oh, they open this up where we can kind of get some sales back. But no, like you said, no, they're worried about. So obviously, the government's right leaning right now. They know if a left president comes in, they're going to be even harder core than Biden was on this stuff. So they're just following their own path.
We're playing a game of high stakes ping pong right now.
Yeah, and the customer is the one that ruins it all.
Yeah, it's dumb. So I don't know. It's to me, it's like I think stuff gets sorted out. I think the 10-speed it's been an issue both brands. What's fascinating to me is that it's only these two brands. Like other brands,
don't have
transmission issues, and
Yeah, Toyota, out of all the problems they have with that 3.5 early on, that's not an issue you hear from them as transmission.
Yeah, you don't hear these issues at other brands.
You
I
know,
don't hear
and
anything.
Nissan took a lot of heat because of the Jocko stuff. I
Yeah.
don't really, honest to God, I don't hear anybody complain about their transmissions anymore.
No, the CVT stuff you don't hear about it anymore, do you?
Huh.
Mm-mm.
No, I mean, now granted, they did use Mercedes tech for some of the stuff, but hey, I mean, at
The
least they realized.
only you hear about Nissan anymore is you hear the are they still alive? Knock, knock, knock. Are they still in business?
So let's get into that a little bit, man. Where are you at with the? Let's just go to mid-size trucks. Where are you at in the market right now? Who's doing it great? Who's doing not so great?
I got a segue list. My friend Golf Button, he said, he goes, "What do you think of Nissan Pathfinder? Any good?" I said, "It's good." I said, "The big question in Nissan is, are they still in business tomorrow?" That's my biggest question. I like the Nissan Frontier. I like it. I think unfortunately the powertrain is good, but when you drive it back to back with other brands right now without the turbo, it feels slow.
But you know what? I mean, me and you've talked about this and said it on these podcasts many times. I don't buy a truck to 0 to 60. I really don't. I mean, I know there's certain like RHO, Raptor R's, there's certain ones you do, but I've never been swayed by, my Raptor or my Ranger Raptor was fun and I didn't buy it because like, oh man, this thing's going to launch me like crazy. For me, I'm more off-road. I wanted the ultimate mid-size off-road vehicle from the factory. That's why I bought that. But it was never like I guarantee I could have gotten whipped easily by a Toyota or something else of like it wasn't a stomp it throws you back.
And I agree with that. I'm just saying for most customers, you go into a dealership lot, you drive two back to back, you're gonna say Nissan's slow. Whether that's a buying decision reason or not, it doesn't.
You
I don't
think though
know.
that's that kind of what is it when they give somebody a sugar pill and they're like, oh, it fixed me?
Yeah,
Do you think that is what that market though with Nissan is the fact that they've been so beat down for the past 15 years that people just instantly lean like, oh, they're just poor Nissan.
No, I think if you take two customers in a dealership lot and they drive them back to back, you go, you know what? It's slow. And they're gonna say it's slow. And so, are you okay with that? Are you a guy that says I want reliable? Hey, maybe you are, and that's fine. And if you are that, and you're gonna say I have turbos, I've read lots of stuff online. This is what I want, and you can go with that. And that's where the sales have been. But I think when you have so many competitors, when you have so much to market now that has gone turbo, and now you're one of the remaining groups out there that's not, it stands out. You look at the competition. The competition is all gone turbos. You haven't.
But you know what I will say for this truck? They're slowly keeping up with the market a little bit better. Like the SBs and stuff are getting LED lights now.
Right. It's not on not dying on the vine so much. Yeah.
Yeah. So where are you at with this color? I know where you're at with this color. My dealer, believe it or not, has 2 on the lot right now.
Can we talk about the Roush package with this? Because I was really excited about the Roush package. But
I am curious about your pick because I think it's shit. I think it's low hanging fruit. Why Roush is Roush nearly bankrupt? Why are they dealing with Nissan?
What I didn't understand with the Roush thing was, and viewers pointed out to me, and I was excited about it. I was like, "Cool, this looks cool." And everybody to a person said to me, they were like, "Where's the performance aspect of that?"
Yeah, you think of Roush, you think of horsepower. You don't think of like, oh, let me give this Swiss or whoever suspension system.
Yes, and I was like, "Oh, that's right." So yeah, not doing performance really stood out to me. So,
and they calling it an R. I get with Roush, but we're also playing on this Ford or Raptor RE kind of like, and you remember the video I had of a Nismo version that they dropped to dealers. I got that video from a dealer. Like, I was like, okay, Nissan's taking this seriously, and how they effed over the dealers. Dealers get so excited for this. Oh my God, you're about to give us something fun. Much like Nissan, obviously you're not a car guy, but they screwed over dealers with the IDX and all that stuff of like, here's what's coming. Oh, it's like I'm playing. But this thing is such like, I was very disappointed with this because look at the numbers. They're no different than what makes me think, why would I go spend the money? You don't get 33-inch tires. So you're not getting any bigger tire.
I'm not getting
You're getting
anything.
the same performance. You're getting I took a lot of heat about this, but I've never heard of this shock company. I'm not in the sports car world, so that's why I don't care about this. There's no, for me, if you use Fox, anybody
Yeah,
else,
I mean, yeah,
some American like name brand of like performance, off-road performance, but yet Nissan, and they get new wheels. Like, so I had a lot of people watch my videos go, why do they have Nismo wheels? And suddenly now they need Roush wheels. Makes
But
no sense.
here's the $1,000,000 question: how many of these do you think we'll see at SEMA?
I am curious about that. I don't think many, because not many people. There's going to be the Xterra, that Nismo Nick dude who used to feed me all kinds of information, which is hilarious to me. This guy from Arizona used to feed me all kinds of information. Decided to go out on his own. He's a Z fanboy. Happy his channel is doing well. Good for him. But he's building his Xterra, and he got to meet with Nissan, who gave their blessing. It's going to be at Nissan's booth, but all they're doing is ripping the front end off one of these, putting it on an old Xterra. Cool. In the new dash. But no, this is a boggle to me. You know, I've been a Nissan fanboy. They've been very good to my community.
Yeah,
They've
I'm just
really helped
saying
the Nashville community quite a bit.
it's
But
like if you don't see these things all over SEMA, the energy's not there.
oh no, you won't see but one of there, and it'll be a Nissan's booth.
Yeah, I mean that to me speaks to the enthusiast, and Roush is an enthusiast build.
Mm-hmm.
And if enthusiasts and builders are going to build these things, I just don't know. I just don't see it.
Well, there's companies like Z1 in Atlanta they specialize in Nissan Zs.
Yeah.
They about 6-7 years ago decided to get into the truck segment, which is they've done it really well. They put a supercharger on these already. Like if you want, and they'll build you something like this. I guarantee is almost as cheap as what you can buy here. That's a better truck.
Yeah.
I don't care about an R in the seat cover. It just don't.
Yeah. So I think Nissan used to be a really good seller because they had an inexpensive truck in a market with a lot of V6s, and they were competitive. And
hard bodies were there was basic, nothing you'd need.
I'm just talking like 5-6 years ago. I mean, we had V6s. The engine was consistent with this market. Or we had, and people were giving me shit about having turbos. Well, let me make my point here. Where you give me shit about having turbos. 5-6 years ago, everybody had the same kind of powertrains, and everybody was competitive in the same powertrains. Nissan was cheaper. They had a little bit cheaper of a truck, but the same capability, and they sold really well. And then the market changed. GMC Canyon, Chevy Colorado, Toyota Tacoma, all went turbos. And when they went all turbos, now you have a truck that doesn't have the same powertrain as everybody else, but has a price as everybody else.
Yeah.
And now you have a lot different question mark for customers.
At some point, Nissan's going to have to quit playing it safe. And I think that green color, the lime color I showed you, that's kind of fun. That's them testing people kind of do that. And for that brand is a big step. They used to, in the early 2000s, they would do those fun colors. Like I remember the Xterra in that canary yellow.
Oh, yeah.
Come out with some fun colors.
Yes.
And then when Carlos took over, they wiped the floor of everything fun. Like they really did. I know people claim, oh, he's the savior of Nissan. No, he effed up that company just as much as the Japanese did.
You're his biggest fan.
No, I am by no means. But he wanted volume. So Altimas in every fleet, that was where he was going to, we want, I forget what it was, 10% market share, global market share. Never happened. But so now Nissan's stuck with this. I know Nissan is actually developing a new Frontier, which thank God, this was kind of a holdover. Same chassis that they've used for 20 years.
Yeah.
So and with the potential Xterra coming, like there could be some excitement with this brand again, but they need horsepower is America. It's that I hate to be crass here. It's the dick measuring contest between you and your neighbor. My truck's got this. Whoa, I've got to go get the next one. If Nissan doesn't come out with a new Frontier that at minimum is 330 horsepower, wipe them off the face. The Altima's dead. There's no more Maxima. Their EV stuff is not selling whatsoever. Trucks is all they have now.
Yeah.
And, I am excited too, Tim, Pathfinder going back body on frame.
I am too. I think that I know they made the case where they sold more. They were unibody versus body and frame, but I think the market's changed.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think the
I
customers changed.
I really I like I said earlier, they've done a lot for my community. I worked for Nissan for a short time. They fed my family when I needed a job.
Yeah.
It was weird walking down the if it had been a union shop, and I'm not pro union by any means, but if it had been a union shop, I could afford to buy one of the vehicles because it wasn't a union shop. I really couldn't afford to buy one of the vehicles. But you want to talk about sad? Your feet hurt. I'm in warehousing. I'm just tired. We're working 12-hour shifts. And I kid you not, we were working 12-hour shifts because they were about to move the truck to Canton, Mississippi. So they were trying to build up inventory.
Yeah.
And my feet hurt so bad. And I've been a couch potato for 2 years, Tim, or a year and a half. And I'm walking by all these beautiful trucks that I love. I'm a big fanboy of Nissan, and walking by and going, I can't afford to buy one of these. And it probably should have said something to where we are in America right now, is most people can't, afford to buy a lot of things, housing, whatever. But Nissan, to end my beat up of them, they are right now a credit score company, and that's all they are.
Yeah, I like them when they build the affordable truck that had the same powertrain nobody else had. I think they had a really good value proposition. But now with the powertrain doesn't match everybody else's and the price point's higher, I don't see it.
Yeah.
I think the Tacoma's refresh is done pretty well. The price point of that's way too high. I think the Colorado.
How are sales on? I haven't kept up with Tacoma. How are sales? Because they weren't initially where they wanted them to be. Have they kicked in?
Yeah, sales kicked in. People made a bunch of videos about how sales were terrible. It was all about getting the trucks out of Mexico, and the iForce Max, the hybrid versions, were late to market.
Well, that's final topic. Let's go into Toyota a little bit, Tim, because I know your audience occasionally thinks you're a Toyota fanboy, which you because you like me, I covered Nissan early on. You covered a lot of Toyota early on.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the state of their let's say 4Runner, Tacoma, and Tundra? What's the state of them right now, in your opinion?
The triplets. I've been watching this Dallas Cowboys thing on Netflix. The triplets. It's been actually fun to watch. So the Tacoma is still selling like crazy, which it's such a fascinating truck for me. I was going to buy one versus the Ford Ranger my wife got, but I just can't justify the pricing. It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely insane what they want for Tacoma.
I was let down by that truck, to be honest. When I got to drive, what was it? Oh God, Wisconsin a year or two ago. I got to drive that truck when it first came out. I was disappointed in it. Now, I've never been like Toyota with power. I've never been like, oh my God, the power. But the 4-cylinder is so disappointing to me, man. I want more, and I don't want the hybrid more. I just want more power, naturally aspirated.
Yeah, I keep wanting. I keep wanting to buy one, and I keep hitting my head against the wall. The Tundra needs a refresh. I've made no bones about that truck. I want a refresh. It needs it. Even TRD John, even Toyota Jeff, even the Toyota fans.
Like TRD John can't buy another Tundra. He's owned like 4 of the damn thing.
He's so mad at that truck. It's crazy. So
he bought a Ram, of course.
Yeah, they need a refresh.
Other than quality, like he's realized the truck, it's a better truck.
The
Ram is.
And the 4Runner is much, much better.
Yeah.
The 4Runner is a huge improvement, and they'll sell the crap out of the 4Runner. The 4Runner is a big sale.
But
I think the 4Runner is much better than the Land Cruiser.
But I would disagree on that, man. I think price point wise is why I'm disagreeing, because definitely the Land Cruiser, to me, what you get is a little more affordable than comparing it to a 4Runner. But so I had the 4Runner for a week in Arizona, and I was just like, it's not bad. Once again, it's that engine, man. For some reason, I can't get past the awful fake sound of they pump in that thing. But was it horrible, underpowered. I was at altitude, 4,000 or 5,000 feet. It wasn't bad, but I don't know, man. I felt like it was a 4-cylinder Xterra or something. It just didn't have what I wanted.
I guess I'm basing the 4Runner on versus what it was. Gen, and it's such a huge improvement. Well, I mean, my God, the first Bush was in office when the last time it got redesigned. So we're going way.
Shoot at you.
Yeah, we're going way back in time on that one. So I think the 4Runner is much better. I think they've made a big improvement. I think the biggest problem I have is what are you going to do? Like, would you buy a Land Cruiser versus 4Runner? They're so weird the way to launch those vehicles
Yeah.
that it's confusing.
Well, that and that they definitely Land Cruiser is going to be what they said initially, mid-50s, something like that. I think was the marketing, but they wouldn't ever really put feet to fire on that.
Yeah, it's confusing what they're going to do with that stuff. So I don't know. I think that is confusing to me, and I will end this and say that I think they're still going to sell. It's Toyota. They're going to still sell all the trucks they're going to sell. The biggest topic that we didn't talk about this live stream is where the hell is GM?
I wanted to get. I know you like an hour live
I
stream.
do, but you look at like
didn't want to. I wanted to go there, but
off-road, like they have no off-road. They have no like off-road competitors. The Blazer is now unibody. There's no Bronco competitor. The GM twins, the mid-sized trucks. The ZR2 isn't a great Raptor competitor, but the
I
Range
think it
Raptor
looks better. And I own I bought the Raptor over that truck, but I still think the GM twins look better. They just don't perform.
They don't, and the Silverado ZR2 is not a competitor to the Raptor. Sorry, not buying it. And they do not have a Raptor R competitor. They don't have a RHO competitor. They don't have a TRX competitor. GM has still not stepped up to the plate.
Well, they got this boner for EV, and they're not selling any of them. Like Hummer sales are almost extinct. Like,
well, they cut production yet again, but that's their North Star.
Oh, 100%. And Silverado EV sales, which I had a reservation on, I was like, no, thank you. Not for $100,000 or whatever they were. I saw a Rivian the other day. It was a 22 for like almost 30.
Yeah.
This was $100,000 EV.
Yeah. I'm just like, I'd love to see a real Blazer. I'd love to see, I'm like, where is GM in this stuff? Like that, I keep thinking ahead.
You think that's leader? I mean, it's got to be leadership, right? Like, and I don't mean like, well, she's a woman because, she doesn't. No, her focus is definitely they're profitable. They make money every year. But you're right. You're right. Blazer name was awful to use on what they put it on.
Yeah, my neighbor had one until she got in a wreck, and I see it every day. Drive by, and I'm like, oh, what a terrible name.
But do you think though we got a new Silverado coming? Do you think they finally?
I'm seeing spy photos of finally a 35s on it. Finally 35s in a GM truck. I'm seeing finally maybe some the DSSC shocks, which are great. Finally getting some more.
Too complicated. Those shocks are way too complicated.
It is, but just like, come on, guys. Like, I'm just like, come on.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. I remember being in Indiana in 1985 or something, and the heartbeat of America was ads were going across the country, and the Blazer was kicking butt. And I mean, you had the ZR2 would come from factory with the stock yellow lights, the
old off-road lights.
Yeah, whatever those the KC lights.
Yes,
the KC lights and the roll bar in the back, and it's like, yeah, come on, like, where are these guys?
Well, I mean, I hate to be like they wanted to be the leader. Ford has been the leader of full-size trucks forever. They really wanted to be the leader. Like, we're going to be the EV leader of full-size trucks. All the damn money they've spent on that stuff. Like, Hummer's a disaster. At some point, if they were to put a V8 in a Hummer, you talk about watching sales suddenly just boom.
Yeah, because
it's a great looking vehicle. It really is.
Yeah,
I think it's a great looking design.
I've driven it. It's cool. It just I can't. They got so mad at me. I tried to drive it to Denver in the wintertime.
Oh, I remember you telling me about that.
Oh God, I had such a hell of a time trying to drive just 180 miles.
Yeah. But so SEMA, we'll both be at SEMA coming up in November.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see the Toyota Raptor or whatever. You had some spy photos. You talked about a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's a similar build. Yeah.
I think maybe we definitely Ranger. I think we see more at SEMA. I think last year when I went, there was some tip. It was still pretty new. hopefully the GM twins, I get to see some stuff at SEMA, because SEMA really did. If it does well, like you were saying earlier at SEMA, that means the market's buying in on this. That's where Nissan, you were saying, nobody's going to do anything with it. That means the market's not buying into what Nissan's doing. Wrangler, you'll always see Wranglers there. These stupid on 44-inch tires. Broncos are always going to be there.
Gold-plated suspensions.
Yep. The best thing is at SEMA is seeing the vehicles that they really have to push there because they don't actually operate, which boggles my mind, man. I think SEMA should really be like, it has to drive into the show. Like this pushing this BS is like, no, because it's for aftermarket. Come on, man, make it run.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm excited in a week that we get to hang out in Texas.
Yeah.
I do know that there's not going to be by Toyota a press event, which is kind of a bummer. I was told that there's no at State Fair. They're going to have a display, but nothing.
Oh, no,
nothing fun. I do expect Ford to have something kind of fun. Expedition or not. Explorer should have some fun stuff. I don't know. I'm excited, man. The auto market's finally kicking in for 26s. Why these? I think tariffs is keeping why everybody hadn't dropped their 26s yet, because we should have seen some stuff by now.
26 F-150 details.
Yeah.
Where are they?
It's the same as the 25.
I've been looking for
detail.
I've been looking and looking. Cannot find them.
Guys, if you're on Tim's channel, please come over and just subscribe. You wouldn't believe what a subscription does. It doesn't cost you anything to hit subscribe. Watch it if you want. Even my bourbon channel, go hit Bourbon Nation Media. Go check that out. But my people are already watching you, Tim. They love you. They love when you're on the show. I appreciate you coming on tonight. Well, Ford Video Guy, who is in the know, says
925. Okay, 925. Thank God. Yeah. I keep hammering my dealership folks because the PR. I can't get any details. I don't want to bash anybody, but like, I want to know what's new for 26.
Yeah, of course. For our side, the Ford P media side is pretty awful right now. So
we're not getting anything.
Like Facebook for Ford. But Tim, I really greatly appreciate you being on tonight, man. I go check out Tim's. He's got new writers. He's got new people, new voices on there, which is really exciting. And seeing Tim's little head on a TikTok is fun. Seeing your little floating head there is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's a fun technique. It's fun.
So in the comments below, guys, if you made it this far, man, give us a big shout out there. We greatly appreciate this. Tim, good to see you on a live stream. I don't care if I had to force you to do a live stream. Get out there, do it again, man. People.
Yes, I will do more live streams. I promise. Scouts honor, whatever they get. I think 3 fingers.
It's this, Tim. So whether it be 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, it does not matter what you drive. This has been your All Terrain Nation. We got pickup truck plus SUV talk, and we're out. Peace, everybody. Love y'all.